Inn hotel was exactly as I remembered it. A sea of designer suits, fake smiles, and enough ego to fill every floor of this 50-story building. I adjusted my Tom Ford jacket, a reminder of how far I'd come from the intern who used to serve drinks at these events. Table 17, Ms. Anderson, the hostess directed me, not recognizing the former coat check girl who'd worked here 5 years ago. I made my way through the crowd, catching snippets of conversations about mergers, acquisitions, and the latest country club memberships. Then I heard it, my brother Michael's distinctive laugh, the same one he'd used when mocking my career choices at every family dinner. "Of course, we're expecting another record quarter," he was saying to a group of admirers at table 16 right next to mine. "The family business is thriving under my leadership." Our eyes met briefly as I took my seat. The surprise on his face quickly morphed into that familiar condescending smile. "Well, look who it is. I didn't expect to see you here, sis. Finally landed a stable job." His friends, all junior executives at various family companies, turned to stare. I recognized most of them from business school, where they'd treated me like an amusing curiosity. The Anderson heir who chose to start from the bottom instead of taking her place in the family empire. "Something like that," I replied, taking a sip of water. "Don't be modest," Michael smirked. "Tell them about your interesting career path. How many jobs has it been now?" 6, 7, 8 actually, I corrected him, enjoying the momentary confusion on his face. One of his friends, Thomas Wellington III, leaned forward. 8 jobs in 5 years? That must be some kind of record. I could feel their judgment, their assumption of failure. They didn't understand that each job had been carefully chosen, each move calculated. From intern to analyst, from project manager to department head, I'd learned every aspect of the business world from the ground up. "Speaking of records," Michael continued, loud enough for nearby tables to hear, "Anderson Industries just acquired Pacific Tech Solutions. Dad's thrilled, says it's the biggest deal in company history." I smiled, remembering the email I'd received that morning. Interesting timing bringing that up. "Why's that?" Before I could answer, the lights dimmed. Howard Chin, CEO of Global Innovations, the largest tech conglomerate in Asia, took the stage. Michael's smirk widened. "Good luck getting his attention," he whispered to his friends. "We've been trying to partner with Global Innovations for years." I straightened my jacket as Howard adjusted the microphone. "Good evening, distinguished guests. Tonight is about excellence in business, about recognizing those who understand that true success isn't inherited, it's earned." Michael was still whispering to his group. "She couldn't even keep a job. Bounced around like a ping-pong ball while I was building our family legacy." Howard continued, "Over the past 5 years, I've been watching someone extraordinary. Someone who chose to learn business from every angle, who worked their way up without relying on their family name." The crowd murmured. Michael was barely paying attention, too busy entertaining his sycophants with stories of his corporate conquests. This person infiltrated 8 different companies, learning their strengths, their weaknesses, their potential. They created a network of insights that led to the most innovative business strategy I've seen in 30 years. Now Michael was listening. So was everyone else. "Tonight, I'm proud to announce that Global Innovations is launching a new venture. Please welcome your new managing partner, the architect behind our acquisition of Pacific Tech Solutions and the mastermind of our upcoming merger with Anderson Industries, Miss Sarah Anderson." I stood up, enjoying the sound of dropping champagne glasses and shocked gasps. Michael's face had gone from smug to stark white in seconds. "Thank you, Howard," I said, making my way to the stage. "I believe my brother was just discussing the Pacific Tech acquisition. Should I explain who really brokered that deal?" The next 30 minutes were a blur of handshakes, congratulations, and watching my brother try to maintain his composure as Howard Chin explained how I'd orchestrated the biggest business coup of the decade. "You see," Howard told the stunned audience, "while everyone was watching the obvious players, Sarah was building something extraordinary. Each job she took revealed another piece of the puzzle." I stood beside him at the podium, finally able to shed the mask I'd worn for 5 years. The analyst position at Merit Financial showed me which companies were vulnerable. The project management role at Tech Dynamics revealed untapped potential in emerging markets. And yes, Michael, I turned to my brother's table, even that 3-month stint as a supply chain coordinator taught me exactly what Anderson Industries was doing wrong. The whispers had turned to a steady buzz of conversation. I could see my brother frantically texting, probably trying to reach our father. But the real masterpiece, Howard continued, was how she brought it all together. Pacific Tech Solutions wasn't just another acquisition, it was the key to revolutionizing 3 industries simultaneously. I took the microphone, my voice steady. Starting tomorrow, Global Innovations will begin implementing a new business model that combines traditional manufacturing with cutting-edge technology. And yes, Anderson Industries will be part of it, just not in the way my family expected. The screens behind us lit up with our new organizational chart. There was my name at the top alongside Howard's. And there, several levels down, was my brother's position, now a subsidiary branch manager. Michael stood up, his face red. This is impossible. Dad would never agree to this. Actually, Howard smiled, he already has. Sarah presented the proposal last week. Your father recognized it for what it was, a brilliant strategy that would save Anderson Industries from its own outdated practices. I walked down from the stage, approaching my brother's table. Remember when you mocked me for taking that entry-level IT job? I learned more about our company's vulnerabilities in those 3 months than you noticed in 5 years as VP. But you were just job hopping, Thomas Wellington III stammered. Everyone said you couldn't commit. Commitment. I laughed. I was committed to something bigger than a title or a corner office. Each position I took was carefully chosen to learn a specific aspect of the industry. While you were all playing golf and congratulating yourselves, I was building a network that would change everything. My phone buzzed, a message from Dad. You should have told me sooner. Proud of you, kiddo. Howard joined us, placing a hand on my shoulder. Sarah's strategy doesn't just merge companies, it transforms them. By this time next year, we'll have revolutionized how global business operates. Michael sank back into his chair, finally understanding. Every job he'd mocked, every career move he'd ridiculed, had been part of a larger plan. His sister hadn't been failing, she'd been laying the groundwork for a business empire that would dwarf anything the Anderson family had built before. Now, I said, straightening my jacket once more, shall we discuss your new role in the company, brother dear? 6 months after the gala, I sat in my new office on the 50th floor of Global Innovations Tower, reviewing the quarterly reports. Every prediction I'd made was coming true, productivity up 45%, innovation metrics through the roof, and employee satisfaction at record levels. A knock at my door interrupted my thoughts. Come in, I called, already knowing who it would be. Michael entered, clutching a folder and looking distinctly uncomfortable in his new business casual attire, one of many changes I'd implemented to break down the old corporate hierarchy. The regional reports you asked for, he said, placing them on my desk. We're seeing significant improvements in the supply chain efficiency. Of course we are, I replied, not looking up. That's what happens when you actually listen to the warehouse workers instead of just ordering them around. He shifted uncomfortably. Sarah, about that. I've been meaning to talk to you. Now I looked up. My brother, once the crown prince of Anderson Industries, had spent the last 6 months learning what real work meant. No more 3-hour lunches or golf meetings. Instead, he'd been doing what I'd done years ago, learning the business from the ground up. I was wrong, he said quietly. About you. About everything. I leaned back in my chair. Really? What exactly made you realize that? Was it when our profit margins doubled? Or when Harvard Business Review featured our management model? Neither, he admitted, taking a seat. It was last week during the employee feedback session. Listening to the junior staff, hearing their ideas, I finally understood what you were trying to teach me all those years. A notification popped up on my screen. Another major corporation requesting to adopt our business model. They were the 5th this month. You know what your biggest mistake was, Michael? It wasn't the arrogance or the laziness. It was assuming that success only looked one way, your way. He nodded, looking out the floor-to-ceiling windows at the city below. How did you do it? Plan all this, I mean. I pulled out an old notebook from my desk drawer, 5 years of observations, strategies and plans, all meticulously documented. While you were bragging about corner offices, I was learning how businesses actually work. Every job taught me something crucial. Like what? The IT job showed me our cybersecurity weaknesses. The HR position revealed talent we were wasting. Even that month I spent in customer service, which you called career suicide, taught me exactly what our clients really needed. My phone buzzed, a message from Howard. Time magazine wants to feature you in their Innovators Who Changed Business issue. But here's the real irony, I continued, showing Michael the latest company performance charts. Remember when you said I was just watching from the bottom? Turns out that's exactly where you need to be to see what's broken. He studied the charts, understanding finally dawning. And now, I smiled. Now we're going to do what I planned all along, transform not just our company but the entire way business works. No more old boys clubs, no more inherited positions, no more wasting talent because it doesn't fit the traditional mold. Standing up, I walked to the window. But first you have a choice to make. What choice? You can either keep learning, keep growing and be part of what we're building, or you can go back to being what you were, a title without substance. Michael was quiet for a long moment. Finally he said, I want to learn. Really learn this time. Good, I replied, handing him a new folder. Because starting next week, you're going back to entry level. What? He sputtered. But You've spent 6 months doing what was asked of you. Now it's time to really understand why each role matters. Just like I did. As he left my office, looking shell-shocked but determined, my assistant entered with the latest news. Our model was being taught at top business schools worldwide. I smiled, remembering that night at the gala when everything changed. Success wasn't just about proving them wrong, it was about showing there was a better way to be right. My phone buzzed again. Dad requesting a dinner meeting. Proud doesn't begin to cover it, his message read. You didn't just change the company. You changed the game. Looking out over the city, I thought about all the other talented individuals stuck in rigid corporate structures, waiting for their chance. Thanks to what we'd built, they wouldn't have to wait much longer. Because sometimes the best